ওয়েলকাম সবাইকে ক্লাসমেট 24 ইউটিউব চ্যানেলে। ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল হায়ার সেকেন্ডারি এক্সামের প্রিপারেশনের এই সিরিজে আমরা ফুল মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। ক্লাস 12 এর সেমিস্টার 3 এর অন্তর্গত সমস্ত প্রশ্ন উত্তর যেখানে থাকবে। এর আগে আমরা ক্লাস 12 এর সেমিস্টার 3 এর অন্তর্গত ইংলিশের উপরে আলাদা আলাদা টেক্সচুয়াল যে সমস্ত এমসিকিউজ রয়েছে সেগুলোর উপরে ক্লাস কভার করেছি। আশা করি তোমরা সবাই দেখেছো। যদি না দেখে থাকো অবশ্যই আমার চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে সেই সমস্ত ক্লাসের ভিডিওগুলো আগে দেখে নেবে, তাহলে তোমাদের প্রত্যেকটা টেক্সট ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি প্রিপারেশনে কিন্তু ভীষণই হেল্প হবে। পাশাপাশি 11 এবং 12 এর প্রত্যেকটা সেমের উদ্দেশ্যে ইংলিশের উপরে ফুল সিলেবাস বেসড নোটস পেতে হলে তোমরা সরাসরি আমার এই হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারে কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে পারো, যেখানে খুবই স্বল্প মূল্যে তোমাদের আগামী পরীক্ষার প্রিপারেশনের জন্য সমস্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ নোট সাজেশনস তোমরা পেয়ে যাচ্ছ। হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারটি আমি ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে উল্লেখ করে দিচ্ছি। পাশাপাশি আজকের ক্লাসের এই পিডিএফটা পেতে হলে বা যে কোনো ধরনের কোয়ারি থাকলে বা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সমস্ত ক্লাসের আপডেট পেয়ে যেতে হলে তোমরা সরাসরি আমার টেলিগ্রাম গ্রুপের সাথে যুক্ত হয়ে যেতে পারো বা আমার হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ চ্যানেলটাও ফলো করে নিতে পারো। টেলিগ্রাম গ্রুপের লিংক এবং হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ চ্যানেলের লিংক আমি এই ভিডিও ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে উল্লেখ করে দিচ্ছি। তো ফিরে আসছি আজকের আলোচনাতে। দেখো, হায়ার সেকেন্ডারি এডুকেশনের ক্লাস 11 এবং 12 এর প্রত্যেকটা সেমিস্টারের উদ্দেশ্যে আমি আলাদা আলাদা প্রত্যেকটা টেক্সটের উপরে লাইন বাই লাইন এক্সপ্লেনেশনের ক্লাস করেছি, এমসিকিউ সহ সমস্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ টেক্সচুয়াল যে সমস্ত গ্রামার থাকে তার উপরেও ক্লাস কভার করেছি। তোমরা ইতিমধ্যে সেই সমস্ত ক্লাসের ভিডিওগুলি পেয়ে গিয়েছো। এই সেশনে আমরা আপকামিং তোমাদের যে পরীক্ষা রয়েছে সেই পরীক্ষার উদ্দেশ্যে ফুল মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট নিয়ে আলোচনা করব, যেখানে সেমিস্টার 1 এবং সেমিস্টার 3 এর উদ্দেশ্যে ফুল মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট থাকছে। দেখো, ফুল মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেটে আমরা প্রথমে টেক্সচুয়াল এবং তারপরে গ্রামার বেস সমস্ত এমসিকিউ নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। টেক্সটের একটা আলাদা কমপ্লিট মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট হবে এবং গ্রামারের একটা আলাদা কমপ্লিট মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেটের সিরিজ হবে, এবং এই দুটো সিরিজেই তোমরা এন্টায়ার সিলেবাস বেসড গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সমস্ত এমসিকিউ সহ টোটাল 10টা করে মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট আলোচনা পেয়ে যাবে। তাই যারা যারা এখনো চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করোনি, চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে অবশ্যই সঙ্গে থেকো। তো দেখো, আজকের এই ক্লাসে আমরা সেমিস্টার 3 এর অন্তর্গত টেক্সট বেসড কমপ্লিট মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। আশা করছি এই সমস্ত কমপ্লিট মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট গুলো যেগুলো সাজেশনের মতো কাজ করবে সেগুলো তোমাদের আগামী পরীক্ষার প্রস্তুতিতে ভীষণই হেল্প করবে। দেখো, টেক্সট বেসড যে মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট গুলো হবে সেখানে 25 মার্কস থাকবে, প্রোজ এর জন্য থাকবে 10, পোমের জন্য থাকবে 10 এবং ড্রামা থেকে 10। তো সেই হিসেবে আজকের ক্লাসে টোটাল 25 কোয়েশ্চেন্স নিয়ে আমরা টোটাল একটা ফুল টেক্সট বেসড মডেল প্র্যাকটিস সেট নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। তো ইউনিট 1 এ কি থাকছে? সবার প্রথমে প্রোজ, গদ্য। দেখো, গদ্যের ফার্স্ট কোয়েশ্চেন আমরা কি পাচ্ছি? স্টেটমেন্ট 1 এবং স্টেটমেন্ট 2। আমরা দুটো স্টেটমেন্ট এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছি এবং সেই হিসেবে কিন্তু অপশন রয়েছে, আমাদেরকে কারেক্ট যে অপশন হবে চুজ করতে হবে। কি রয়েছে প্রশ্ন? প্রথমে দেখে নেব। দেখো, কালামস মাদার আশিয়াম্মা কেম ফ্রম আ ডিস্টিংগুইশড ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড। স্টেটমেন্ট 2 তে কি রয়েছে? কালাম টুক আফটার হিজ ফাদার ইন অ্যাপিয়ারেন্স। তাহলে এখানে অপশন কি কি রয়েছে দেখে নেব। দেখো, অনলি স্টেটমেন্ট 1 ইজ ট্রু, অনলি স্টেটমেন্ট 2 ইজ ট্রু, বোথ স্টেটমেন্টস আর ট্রু, বোথ স্টেটমেন্টস আর false. Let's discuss the statements. See, statement 1, Kalam's mother Ashiamma came from a distinguished background. We can see that in the autobiography Strong Root, APJ Abdul Kalam mentions that his mother's lineage was the more distinguished one, isn't it? One of her ancestors was even bestowed with the title of Bahadur by the British. So hence we can say that statement 1 is true, isn't it? And if we go to statement 2, here we can say that Kalam describes himself as a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, whereas his parents were tall and handsome. He didn't look like his father. So we can easily say that Kalam took after his father in appearance is totally false. Okay, so the answer here will be option A. Only statement 1 is true because statement 2 is false. So option A will be the answer here. Hope you all understand. Next question. Question number 2. What is told here? See, read the following sentences carefully and choose the correct set of true and false. Number 1, Kalam's father was always willing to help those in need. Number 2, only people from the Muslim community sought Kalam's father's help. Number 3, Kalam sought his father's guidance on the significance of prayer. Number 4, Kalam's father was indifferent to his son's spiritual queries. And here are the options A, B, C, D. 1 false, 2 false, 3 true, 4 true, and likewise these are given as options. Let's discuss the questions first. Then we will choose the correct option from the answers. Okay, so what do we see here? In statement 1, it is told that Kalam's father was always willing to help those in need. Obviously it's true. Because in strong root, we see that people in distress would visit his father to help and advise, and his father would offer prayer to help them overcome their difficulties. Isn't it? Therefore, this statement is true, totally. So, one is true, we can say. Let's come to the second. Only people from the Muslim community shot kalams for the self. The text explicitly says that people from different religions would sit outside their house waiting for his father. So this communal harmony of Rameswaram has been told by the author in the text. Therefore, this statement is false clearly, isn't it? It is false. Sorry, it will be false. F. Okay. Next, 3. Kalam sought his father's guidance on the significance of prayer. It's also false. In the text, we have seen that people of different religion would sit outside their house waiting for his father. This is also true. When Kalam grew old enough to ask questions, he specifically asked his father about the meaning of relevance of prayer. Isn't it? It's mentioned in the text. His father explained it in a simple Tamil language. Therefore, this statement will be true. Okay, statement 2. 2, not 2, it's 3. 3 also true. And number 4. See, far from being indifferent, Kalam's father encouraged his spiritual questions and answered them in a highly profound yet a simple manner, helping Kalam understand complex spiritual concepts. So therefore, this statement, Kalam's father was indifferent to his son's spiritual queries, is totally false. Okay. Rather, he encouraged his spiritual questions. So it will be false. So we can see 1 true, 2 false, 3 true and 4 false. That's why we can see here the right answer turns out to be option B. Isn't it? 1 true, 2 false, 3 true, 4 false. Option B will be the answer here. Next question. Rameswaram was famous among the pilgrims for its dash. Communal harmony, Shiva temple, coconut groves, and D. mosques. It's a very good question and the answer will be Shiva temple. In strong root, APJ Abdul Kalam describes his birthplace and he writes Shiva temple, which made Rameswaram so famous to pilgrims, was about a 10-minute walk from our house. While Rameswaram also possessed communal harmony, it was the famous Shiva temple that directly drew the large influx of pilgrims to the island. Therefore, this option will be true. Okay, this option B will be the correct answer. Understood? Next, question number 4. APJ Abdul Kalam describes himself as a dash. Tall boy with stunning looks, short boy with undistinguished looks, short boy with impressive looks, boy with exceptional athletic abilities. Obviously, option B, short boy with undistinguished looks. It's clearly mentioned in the text, isn't it? I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. It clearly indicates that he considered himself a short child with very ordinary features compared to his tall and good-looking parents. Therefore, this option B will be the correct answer. Okay? Or this is the correct choice. Next question, question number 5. The narrator's reluctance to break his journey to meet the girl at Deoli is because. And I think it's quite clear to everyone where this question has been taken from. Yes, obviously it's from the night train at Deoli by Ruskin Bond. What are the options? He is afraid of being rejected. He doesn't want to spoil the memory. He is running late for another appointment. He is no longer interested in the girl. See, at the end of the story, the narrator considers getting off the train at Deoli station to search for the basket-selling girl who had disappeared. However, he fears that he is discovering the harsh reality might shatter his beautiful idealized memory of her. So he prefers to keep his longing alive and preserve his romanticized memories untarnished. Okay. Therefore, here option B is the correct answer. He doesn't want to spoil the memory. That will be the answer. Okay. Next question, question number 6. The train came to Deoli and I looked up and down the platform. Here, the narrator's emotional state is. Options are Happy and cheerful, contented and grateful, nervous and anxious, curious and steady. See, again it's from the Night Deoli, needless to say. Whenever the train approached Deoli station after his second meeting with the basket selling girl, the narrator would experience a mix of heavy anticipation, relentless, and fear. And he would desperately look up and down the platform, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, yet feeling intensely worried that she might not be there. So, this state of mind is best described as nervous and anxious. Therefore, option C will be the answer. Have you understood? Option C. Hope it's clear to everyone. Next question. Question number 7. When the narrator found the girl absent from the station, he came out of the station to visit the town, was too disappointed to do anything, ran up to the station master to inquire about her, ran to and fro. See, the question refers to the latter part of the story, isn't it? When the narrator returns from his grandmother's house after the summer, he eagerly looks for the basket selling girl, but he doesn't find her. So, stricken with worry and disappointment, he actively decides to find out what happened to her instead of just sitting back. He runs up to the station master we have seen in the story to ask if the station master knows anything about the girl who used to sell baskets there. Therefore, we can say that option C, ran up to the station master to inquire about her. This option is the correct choice or correct answer it will be. Okay, option C. Clear? Next question. Question number 8. Rearrange the following statements in the correct order. Okay, we have to rearrange the sentences. What are the sentences? Number 1. The banker was confident the young prisoner would survive the long confinement. Number 2. As per their agreement, the banker confined the lawyer to a room in his garden wing. Number 3. It was decided he wouldn't interact with outsiders or receive letters. Number 4. The banker and lawyer made a 15-year bet owed 2 million rubles. And options are mentioned here, A, B, C, D. Okay, the chronology is mentioned. So, what will be the correct chronology? We have to choose that. Let's discuss the question. And I'm sure it's obvious by now which chapter this question belongs to. Obviously, this question is based on Anton Chekhov's The Bet, famous story. During a party, a heated argument leads the banker and the younger lawyer to make a 15-year bet owed 2 million rubles, isn't it? That heated argument is about capital punishment versus life imprisonment. So it will be 1. Option 4 will be 1. 2. 2 will be 2. Following the finalization of the terms, the lawyer is officially confined to a specific room located in the garden wing of the banker's house. Okay. And 3 here will be 3. Inside the confinement, strict rules are set up, deciding that the prisoner is completely barred from interacting with outsiders or receiving any letters. And 4 will be, not 4, 1 will be 4. At the beginning of this arrangement, the banker reflects on the bet, feeling absolutely confident that the young lawyer will not be able to survive such a long period of solitary confinement. So, 4, 2, 3, 1. Okay. This will be the correct chronology and it makes option C as correct answer. Okay, option C will be the answer here. I hope everyone have understood. Next. The thing restricted to the lawyer in his lodge by the banker is music, wine and tobacco, books, letters. It will be option D, letters, obviously. According to the strict terms of the 15-year agreement drawn up by the banker, the young lawyer was subjected to total isolation, and on the other hand, he was explicitly allowed to have musical instruments, read books, drink wine and smoke tobacco. Okay. Since letters or receiving letters was completely restricted by the banker, we can easily say option D will be the answer here. Okay. Next question, question number 10. In his note to the banker, the young lawyer wrote that the banker exchanged dash, heaven for earth, heaven for the hell, heaven for hell, hell for heaven, happiness for wealth. What will be the answer? See, we can say that heaven for earth. Why? In the final note, left by the young lawyer just before escaping his confinement, he expresses deep contempt for all material objects, isn't it? Wealth also and worldly values also. He explains that after reading thousands of books, he realized that earthly rewards are temporary and meaningless. And he also addressed the banker and society. So I marvel at you who exchange heaven for earth. I don't want to understand you. So the lawyer believes that people are foolishly bartering eternal spiritual wisdom for temporary material pleasures. Therefore, option A here will be the correct answer. That spiritual wisdom indicates heaven, isn't it? Material pleasures indicate earth. So heaven for earth, option A will be the answer. Clear? Next question. Here we can see that unit 2. Unit 2's questions will be from poem. দেখো কবিতা থেকে সমস্ত কোয়েশ্চেন থাকবে, এখানে 10টা কোয়েশ্চেন থাকবে, তাহলে প্রোজ থেকে 10টা হয়ে গেল এবং পোম থেকে 10টা, টোটাল 20, আর ড্রামা থেকে 5টা, 25টা। ওকে, so unit 2 first question দেখো, the deep mourns round with many voices. What is Ulysses describing here? Options are sea, wind, moon, ship, and it's quite clear that this question has been taken from obviously Alfred Lord Tennyson's Ulysses. And in the poem, as night approaches, the aged King Ulysses stands near the port looking out at the vast ocean. So the deep is a classical poetic metonymy used to represent the sea or ocean. Okay, by saying it mourns round with many voices, Tennyson personifies the sea, describing the heavy multi-layered sound of the waves crashing against the shore. To him, these voices sound like a mysterious, alluring call beckoning him and his old mariners to embark on one final heroic voyage. Therefore, C will be the correct choice. Option A will be the answer. Clear? Next question. Choose the false statement regarding the poem Ulysses among the following. Let's go to the statements first. Statement 1, Ulysses feels happy to remember his previous voyages. 2, or B, Ulysses appeals to his wife and son to allow him to explore the unknown. 3, Ulysses cannot rest from travel. And D, the speaker of the poem Ulysses is Ulysses himself. Let's discuss the statements first. See option A. He fondly remembers his past adventures, saying all times I have enjoyed. Okay, so it's true. Okay, it's true. And if we go to C, C is also true. He explicitly says that I cannot rest from trouble. Okay, it's also true. D also true. The poem is a dramatic monologue while the speaker is Ulysses himself. Okay, D also true. But look at option B, it's false. Ulysses doesn't seek permission or appeal to his wife or his son. Instead, he independently decides to hand over the governance of the kingdom to his son, isn't it? That's why, since statement B is completely incorrect based on the text, it is our required answer. So option B will be the answer. Okay, false. It's mentioned that choose the false statement, and we have found that option B is false here. Okay, so option B will be the answer here. Next, statement 1 and 2 both are given. We have to choose the correct answer from the options. Statement 1, Ulysses called upon his mariners to prepare for another perilous journey. And statement 2, the mariners did not respond to his call. So what will be the answer from the options? Let's discuss the statement first. Here in the poem, the king, that means the aged king, directly addresses his old companions. Come, my friends, isn't it? He explicitly urging his mariners to gather their strength and prepare for one last dangerous sea voyage into the unknown. Therefore, statement 1 is true. And if we go to the statement 2, here, what can we see? We can see the mariners did not respond. See, throughout the monologue, Ulysses describes his mariners as loyal souls who have always faced both thunder and sunshine with a brave heart. And this poem functions as a powerful, motivating speech, and there is absolutely no mention of that particular thing that his mariners refused or ignored his call. Instead, they are portrayed as ever-ready companions in spirit. Therefore, this statement is false. Mariners did not respond. No, Not a single sign is there that his mariners refused or ignored his call, isn't it? That's why statement 2 is false. So 1 true, 2 false. 1 true, 2 false we can find in option A. Only statement 1 true. That means statement 2 is false. Both statements are true, no. Only statement 2 is true, no. Both statements are false, no. So option A will be the answer. Okay. Next, question number 14. Statement 1 or A. Ulysses is restless to leave his kingdom. And statement B. He is an eternal wanderer seeking knowledge and experience. Again, same type of question is mentioned here. Option A. Only statement A is true. Both statements are true. Only statement B is true. Both statements are false. See, Ulysses feels completely suffocated by his mundane life in Ithaca, isn't it? This clearly demonstrates his intense relentlessness and desire to leave the quiet kingdom for active exploration. Therefore, A is true. And B. Ulysses views life not just as a period of idle existence but an ongoing quest. So the famous remark, to follow knowledge like a sinking stir, this cements his identity as an eternal wanderer who prioritizes continuous learning and experiencing the unknown above all else. B is also true according to that point of view. Okay, so here we can say that both statements are true. Both statements are true. It's mentioned in option B. So therefore statement B is true. It's clearly visible. Understood? Next question. Question number 15. Which of the following epithet used by Ulysses to affirm the character of his son? Options are well loved of me. B. Most blameless is he. She descend not to fail in office of tenderness centered in the sphere of common duties. So here most blameless is he. This will be the answer. See, in the second stanza, Ulysses introduces his son Telemachus to the readers and uses several descriptive phrases to praise his suitability as a ruler, isn't it? And there so many epithets has been used, and among these most blameless is he directly serves as a moral epithet, and it asserts that Telemachus is entirely flawless, duty bound and beyond reproach in his integrity. Therefore, from a strict literary standpoint regarding his character's uprightness, option B will be the answer. Okay, option B is the most precise answer. Hope you all understand. Next question, question number 16. Statement: the sea waves on classic shore sound like the casuar in a tree. Statement B: the listener glorifies the tree's lament. And this question is from our Casuar in a Tree by Torudat. Here, two statements are given and we have to choose from the options that what is the correct answer. Let's discuss the statements first. In the fourth stanza of the poem, Torudat expresses how the sound of the Casuar in a tree transcends geographic boundaries. Okay, she states that when the waves gently murmur on the sandy burrs under the moon, it sounded identical to or reminded her deeply of the mournful rustling above her beloved tree back home. So it's true, yes. And B? See, B is also true. The poet doesn't treat the tree's lament as a mere natural sound. She elevates and sanctifies it as an airy speech capable of reaching the unknown land, isn't it? That's why. So here we can say that option B, both statements are true. Okay, both, not only A. Both are true. Sorry, it will not B, it will be C. Both statements are true. Okay, not D, B or A. Option C will be the answer. Next question, question number 17. Fill in the blanks underneath with the correct option. Therefore I fain would dash a lay unto thy honor tree. Consecrate, compose, consider, dedicated. Very easy question. Therefore I fain would consecrate. Okay, option A here will be the answer. The line is there. Therefore I fain would consecrate and lay unto thy honor tree, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for a repose. Okay, Next, question number 18. The creeper winding round and round the rough trunk of the casuarina tree is compared to a dash. It's a very easy question. Python, serpent, baboon, scurf. Obviously, it's Python. Option A will be the answer. It's clearly mentioned in the text. Next, when the poetess first opens her casement at dawn, her eyes rest on the casuarina tree, water lilies in the tank, funny offspring of the baboon, naki crimson clusters of casuarina tree. It will be obviously casuarina tree. Okay. The poetess describes her morning routine and writes, when first my casement is wide open thrown at dawn, my eyes delighted on its rest. That's. Okay. So option A will be the answer here. Next question, what does the poetess see moving below the casuarina tree at dawn? Women and children, horse and buffaloes, birds and bees, sleepy cows. What will be the answer? See, here we can say answer will be option D, sleepy cows. The phrase wind and sleepy cows means that the slow sleepy cows are moving and making their way toward the green pasture of grazing. Okay, passing underneath and round the vast shadow of the casuarina tree. Therefore, option D will be the answer. Next, question number 21, and this is from unit 3, that means drama. From drama, 5 questions will be there. I have already mentioned. So question number 21 is, in Riders to the Sea, Moria accepts her fate and the sea's power does. After the death of Michael, after the death of her husband, after the death of her 5 sons, after the death of all sons and family members. Very interesting question. Obviously, it will be option D, after everything. Okay. The protagonist here is Moria, and she spends her entire life in the constant terror of the ruthless sea, which repeatedly claims the lives of her male family members. Over the years, she loses her husband, her husband's father, her 6 sons to the ocean, and the ultimate climax of the play occurs when her last surviving son, Bartley, is drowned. And with Bartley's death, Moria undergoes a profound psychological transformation. She realizes that she has nothing left to take from her. Okay. And after that, she famously states this. Okay, so option D is the correct choice. Okay, next, question number 22. Bartley's body is brought home from the seashore by coastal villagers, by young priests, by village women, Kathleen and Nora. Bartley's body brought home from the seashore. See, it will be option A, coastal villagers. After Bartley is knocked into the sea by the grey pony and drones near the white rocks, his body is recovered. According to the stage direction, what we have seen there, men come in carrying the body wrapped in a sail and lay it on the table. So these men represent the coastal villagers or fishermen of the island who work together during tragedies. Okay, village women enter the cottage first to keen and mourn, and it is specifically the male members, okay, male villagers, coastal villagers who carry the physical body back home from the seashore. Therefore, option A is the accurate choice. Next, question number 23. While leaving for the Galway fair, Bartley takes with him what? The halter, his old coat, the red mare and the grey pony, his parts and tobacco. While leaving for the Galway, okay, keep it in mind. So here we can see that answer will be the halter. Halter, you know, when Bartley prepares to leave for the Galway horse fair to sell their horses, he urgently looks for a piece of rope to lead them. That's why he asks his sister, where is the beat of the new rope? Therefore, option A, the halter, is the correct answer or the correct choice for the question. Okay, option A. Next, question number 24. Assertion, Moria sees a vision when Bartley heads to sea. And reason, she is already anxious about Bartley's safety. A and R are true. R explains A. A and R are true. R doesn't explain A. A is true, R is false. A is false, R is true. She, Moria sees a vision when Bartley heads to sea. Okay. So here we can say, yes, it's true. Moria goes to the spring to give him the bread and blessing she had forgotten. But at the spring she sees a terrifying spiritual vision. Okay, Bartley riding the red mare and followed closely by the ghost of her dead son Michael riding the grey pony. So this woman foreshadows Bartley's imminent death. Therefore, assertion is true, and the reason? See, reason is also true. Moria has already lost her husband, father-in-law, and 5 sons to the cruels. Bartley is her last hope, last surviving son, and she desperately begs him not to go on this dangerous voyage because the weather is terrible. Her mind is entirely consumed by fear and trauma. Therefore, reason is also true, we can say. Okay, so here option A, both are true and R explains A. That will be the correct choice for the question. Okay, answer will be option A. Hope you all understand. Next and the last question of today's practice set. Read the following sentences carefully and choose the correct set of true and false. What are the sentences? The village priest requested Nora to tell her mother about the clothes collected from Donegal. Kathleen hid the clothes in the turf lot of the peasant. After Bartley left the cottage, Kathleen remembered that she had forgotten to give him the bread. Moria refused to go to the spring well to give the bread to Bartley due to her infirmity. Let's discuss one by one. Here sentence 1. The village priest requested Nora to tell her mother about the clothes collected from Donegal. It will be false. The young priest bought a bundle of clothes to Nora, but he explicitly instructed not to show to her mother. Okay, so this is false. Statement 2 is true. See, to make sure Moria won't see the suspicious bundle, Kathleen and Nora decided to hide it away safely. Kathleen explicitly carried the bundle off and hid it in the turf lot. We have seen that, therefore it is true. Okay, option B or 2 is true. 3 is also true. Okay, after Bartley left the cottage, Kathleen remembered that she had forgotten to give him the bread. And 4, see, 4 is false. Although Moria was grief-stricken and old, she didn't refuse to go. When Kathleen urged her to intercept Bartley at the spring well to give him the bread and her blessing, Moria took her walking stick and immediately left the cottage. Therefore, it is false, not like that. Okay, and C also true. So, false, true, true, false. False, true, true, false. It will be option B. C, false, true, true, false. Option D here will be the answer. Got it? So this was our first full syllabus based model practice set for class 12 semester 3rd. In this session we have covered all the highly important MCQs based directly on the texts. Okay, I hope I was able to explain every single question clearly to all of you and no one has any doubts left. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, to make sure you never miss these important sessions, don't forget to follow the channel and hit the bell icon. And that's all for today's class. See you soon in our next class with another set of full syllabus MCQs.